I'm going to show you how you can make your very own block on the AutoGPT platform. The AutoGPT platform is open source, so anyone can submit a pull request for their very own block. But instead of writing all this code ourselves, today we're going to do something much cooler with AI. So I'm going to go to the AutoGPT marketplace and download the AutoGPT Platform block writer. Just click this button to download and then import from file. Here you can see the agent is loaded up. Now the first thing we want to do is sign in with GitHub. And so the way to do that is to press this button, add a new API key, and then we want to navigate to github.com/settings/tokens. And here we're going to press generate new token fine-grained repo scoped, give it a name, doesn't matter what it is, make sure it's set to public read only, and then generate token. And then we're just going to copy this, jump back to the platform, paste it in, and give it a name. It doesn't matter what the name is. And now that's done, you can see I have my token selected up here. And so now what I'm going to do is go through every block and make sure we're logged in. Now that's out of the way, we're going to run our agent. And so today I want to make a text-to-speech block. So I put in the name of that block in here. I'm going to use the Unreal Speech API for this. And so to do this, the first thing I'm going to do is navigate to their documentation. And here I can see that I want to use a speech endpoint. I can tell that this is something that we want to do. Basically, you send text and receive an MP3 URL. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is copy this URL, jump back to the platform, and I'm going to insert the integration documentation URL. Then I'm going to write a short description about the block. So, text-to-speech block that takes in text and outputs a MP3 URL using the Unreal Speech API. And now that's it. I'm going to press run. And here we can see the agent working its magic. So what this is doing here is reading from our GitHub repository all of this data, taking our inputs, scraping the documentation website that we linked, and now the large language model is writing the code for us without us having to lift a finger. And there we can see the code has been written. So this is the output of our new block, and this is the edit to our settings file, which I'll get to in a minute. First, let's copy this code. And so now I'm back here in VS Code, and what I'm going to do is navigate to backend, blocks, and I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this text-to-speech block. And now I'm simply going to paste in that code. Now jumping back to here, let's copy the contents of our settings file, and then we're going to navigate to util settings, and once again paste in the content, replacing the content of this file. And so the first step after pasting that settings file in is to check that it only changed the relevant lines of code. We can see here it's added the Unreal Speech API key. This change here is from another pull request, so that's fine. It deleted a line at the end, we can just add that back in. And it also seemed to delete a new line there, so we'll just add that back in. And then we have it, that's fine. And so this is obviously an entirely new file, so let's test that out. So the first thing we're going to do is run poetry run format. And what this is going to do is, one, beautify our code so it fits with the repo standards, but two, more importantly, this is going to check for any obvious errors in the code. You can see there the file's been reformatted. And okay, right, we can see we have our first error here. So I'm going to show you how you can fix this yourself. So we control click on this, we can see it's in this line, and then straight away I can see what the problem is. The API key, it's added as a string, but it should be a block secret. And we need to make sure we import from backend.data model, import block secret. And that's just added this up here. So I'm going to run poetry run format once again. And this time we passed. That's perfect. So now I'm going to run the next command. This is going to run our automated tests. So the command is poetry run pytest test block testblock.py. Here you can see that all the tests passed. That is brilliant. So that means I can now start up the server and test this out. So I'm going to open an integrated terminal on the back end and in the front end. If you don't know how to do this, check my setup tutorial. So I'm going to run docker compose rm to make sure everything is stopped and fresh. And now I'm going to run docker compose up -- build. This should take about a minute. While that sets up, I'm going to grab an API key for Unreal Speech because I know we'll need one. So up here it says free API key. Okay, great. Okay, and here's my API key. I'm going to copy that. And now I can see the server's up and running, so I'm going to run npm run dev to start the front end, and we should be ready. Okay, now the front end is ready. I'm going to control click on this link here, and here I am on the build screen. Let's get our block. A little message for it to say, and paste in our API key, save it, and let's test it out. And there we have it. That was very quick. So I'm going to copy this URL. Let's just drop this into a new tab.
Hello world, hello AutoGPT.
Okay, and that works. Now that we've confirmed that our block works, the final step here is for us to open a pull request. So what we're going to do is add our text-to-speech block. We're going to add our changes to the settings file. I'm going to use VS Code to generate an AI commit message. I'm going to check out to a new branch. I'm going to input the name of my branch, press enter. Once that's finished loading, send my commit. Then I'm going to push my changes to that branch. And now I'm here at the GitHub repository for AutoGPT, and I'm going to create a pull request. You can see my changes are here. So I'm going to create this pull request. I'm going to create it as a draft for now. I'll show you why in a second. So now I'm going to go to Files Changed, Ask Copilot. This is GitHub Copilot. Write a description for this PR. Okay, I'm going to copy that, go back to the pull request, edit it. And so I'm just going to review this to make sure it's accurate. So this pull request introduced a new text-to-speech block using the Unreal Speech API. Yep. They add this block. Yeah, this is all good. And now for testing, I'm going to work my way through this checklist after this video and make sure that I've done all of these things to make sure that the platform still works. And there we have it. I've just marked my pull request as ready for review. So that's how you create a block for the AutoGPT platform using the AutoGPT platform. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and feel free to jump into the Discord server to chat with us directly.